Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Friends, it's going to be another day where the market is likely to move sideways and positive. I have a few headlines that I have been watching, and nice to see you back, hot dog, and glad to have you here. Yesterday, Inf was here, and yeah, it's been an insipid day as such, so you didn't miss too much. Um, I'm looking at all the headlines, and I think there's a lot of hope pinned on the meeting between China and US, the continuing trade talks, and that that is giving a source of hope for most of the market participants. It seems there is hope that smaller, or how do I say that, less powerful GPUs from NVDA would be allowed to get into China. That is the expectation. And as such, um, if that happens, I think NVIDIA will shoot up. If that doesn't happen, I don't think any harm is done as long as the talks continue. So we are likely to move sideways and upwards. And Howard Lutnick has said that the US-China trade talks are going well on the second day. I wouldn't think too much about what Howard Lutnick says because he's known to exaggerate and he's known to say things that I don't think are true. But all said, the effect on the market is what we are looking at, and it is positive effect. And China's rare earth mineral squeeze may put defense giant in the crosshairs. That's the headline that I am seeing from Reuters, sorry, CNBC. Where is that headline? I'm going to make a separate video on this. It says China's rare earth mineral squeeze puts defense giants in the crosshairs. So I'm thinking that we have to investigate the defense sector. I've created a new watch list. If you see out here on the right side, you will see my new watch list. I want to go through this with everyone in a separate video. I'm just going to go into a one-day view, recalibrate the charts. You see Boeing, RTX, LMT, TDG, NOC, HWM, AXON, CV, CW, AV. All of these are defense stock. One common thing among all of them is, if you notice, 7th of April. 7th of April is a starting point of all their jumps. Right? That was the beginning of the declaration of tariffs. And that created the hostility, which led to the feeling that there could be potential geopolitical consequences. And as a result, the defense stocks, wherever they were, they started their move up. So all of them around April 7th. So my cursor is on top of April 7 in each of those charts. And you will see. Now, I'm thinking that if there is a shortage of rare earth metals, it's going to affect mostly industries which are using magnets. That's why the car industry is having trouble. I don't know how to pronounce this, neodymium or neodymium. That's the material. It creates permanent magnets which are lightweight. You don't want non-permanent magnets which happen to be heavyweight and lose their charge over a period of time. When you manufacture goods that are supposed to last for 30 or 40 years, take automobiles, for instance, or fighter jets, anything of that type. So I think that if the Chinese stocks doesn't go well, then all these stocks are set to lose. And if that happens, like, there would be a chance to short them and take the money out of that. That's my thought process. But I'd like to hear from you guys what you think about it. And I'd like to have a little bit of a discussion on that. And that said, let us go and have a look at S&P 500 futures, which is up mildly 0.07, not much of a change. NASDAQ futures also mildly 0.10%. And the common trend in both of them is they are all moving along this diagonal line of resistance. If you see here, this is also a diagonal line of resistance, which is holding it back. However, as I pointed out earlier, there is a bearish divergence out here, which has to come to play sooner rather than later. And again, here also you have a bearish divergence. So that should come into play. Dollar index has recovered smartly to a certain extent. It's at 99.08. And our 10-year yields are also going down. But I would say that this is a bull flag that we are looking at. This is a bull flag. And it could always shoot up on the upside because I'm looking at the fundamentals the way they are. We are going to have a issue of, I think, 20-year bonds from US government somewhere later on in this month. That could probably be a very good test of the appetite for the market for long-term US bonds. And that could have a bearing on the rates that we see here and also the outcome of the US-China talks. That said, let us go and have a look at our indicators where we left them. S&P 500, we had this minor line of support out here from yesterday. We broke it, and today we are above it. If we close above this today, then I think we would have confirmed that we have broken through this line of resistance and converted it into a support. So we are still watching it for today for confirmation. Pre-market, we are slightly up. And if you look at NASDAQ, let me go back again. I want to talk about this divergence out here. There is still a bearish divergence out here, but it's not as pronounced as it was in the futures, but it still exists. MACD is also bearish. NASDAQ also has got that bearish divergence. If you see here, if you take this line from here to here, let me just put it in place to illustrate what I'm talking about here. And let me make this line a bit thicker because it's not visible on smaller screens. Let's put this here. So you can see the divergence, and the divergence is present in both places, in MACD as well as RSI. So it has got to work out somewhere or the other. VIX is up 0.70%, but it's still below this resistance line at 18.40. So there is a possibility that we may continue to move sideways while we wait news from US-China discussions. Gold is putting up a little more value based on the dollar weakness, and QQQ is showing a little bit of positivity, 0.12% in pre-market trades. Here, the divergence is very stark. If you can see this, I'm going to mark this as red, and then I'm going to put this here. As you can see, you have a bearish divergence for QQQ. And this has to fructify somewhere. It has to come into play somewhere or the other. How long can it be delayed? Right? So we have to see that. And same is the case with IWM as well. Even though IWM looks very bullish, the divergence is still there in IWM. Now let us look at AI. What's happening in AI? We have NVDA up 0.46%, waiting for the good news out there. And what do we have here? We have the same divergence, I would say. Bearish divergence. So I think we are, I think, in a place where we may probably move a little bit sideways and up, but eventually we have to come down. Let's go back to the indicators and look at S&P 500. So what I'm thinking out here is that probably we have room to go all the way up to this resistance at 6147.75, and then we start coming down. With NASDAQ also, probably we go all the way up to the intersection of this diagonal line and the horizontal line, which is going to be at around 22,224. And when we least expect, we may come down. Probably the machines might push us slightly above this to trap a lot of bulls who may think, oh, we have been able to break through this, and then give up everything. So that's a possibility. I'm using a conspiracy theory out there, but yeah, now going back into AI, NVIDIA, we did that. We said there is a bearish divergence out here. And we also have Meta, which is up 0.92% in pre-market trades. And let me see what's happening in the comment section. So Hot Dog is saying, I follow RTX closely as they have a big facility just down the road from me. At the moment, they are scrambling to replace 700 plus naval SAMs the US used to defend themselves against the Houthis. However, I find defense stocks too prone to irrationality moves due to corruption. Yes, all they need is to go to a third country, and now Trump has removed the corruption statute, so they can bribe other countries and sell huge orders to them, and maybe the World Bank or somebody will give them funding, or even US itself may give them the loan. So those things happen. I agree with you, Hot Dog. I've seen it close quarters in India in the early days, not right now, but in the early days, maybe 20 years ago. That definitely used to happen. We had a lot of scams where defense companies bribed the government and sold armaments to them. So that's, yeah, agreed with you. But charting is something that I would like to look forward to in those sectors. And when we find some opportunities, Hot Dog, I'll definitely have a chat with you to get your feedback on those companies. So stay tuned on that. Now, let's go back to Google. Google has got a very flat opening. Pre-market, it's fluctuating between -1 and +1. I think it's got a resistance at 180.29 for today. And I do not see bearish divergence here. So I think it's among the safer stocks. If the market goes down, probably this will go down slowly because it is going up very slowly. It's very reasonably priced. I wouldn't mind dollar cost averaging into Google at this point. Amazon is down 0.06%. They had the humanoid robot news yesterday, which took them above this resistance, in my opinion. And the resistance has now turned into support for today, 216.01. Pre-market, even though we are down 0.06, we are at 216.85. RSI is almost overbought. And we also have MACD, which is bullish. So I think overall, Amazon, I think it's struggling, staying there, along with all the Mag 7s, waiting for the China-US negotiations to bear fruit. And when that happens, I think it has got plenty of room to go back all the way to 241.70. And if all of this happens before back to school and holiday season, previously when we had a tariff battle, it kept on dragging out for a longer period of time. Hopefully we have some resolution quickly. Apple is down 0.20% despite a lot of positive news yesterday. The verdict basically seems to be that on AI front, it's a bit light, but on operating system front, there is a huge improvement. So we'll have to see what happens from that. Now, let us look at Microsoft. Microsoft is down 0.16%. Guys, I've been waiting for Microsoft to come down for a while. I thought that it had a huge gap up, but it is still hovering up there. I would welcome it to come down. Wishful thinking though, but I'm holding on to MSFT. When it comes down, it's going to probably fill up this gap. Right now, when I look at the price action, I think there is a divergence out here. Now you look at these two, and you'll see the divergence already. So I'm thinking that this divergence also has to work out. So I'm waiting. Sometimes technicals take time to work out. It's not a surefire sign. Sometimes they don't even work out. Tesla is up 2.5%. I sold all the TSLQ in profit. And I might probably try to re-enter it again, because right now what I'm seeing is that the sentiment is going down, and MACD is also bearish, and momentum is still below average. I'll watch what happens today. If our pre-market gains are given up, then I'll get in. There is no news out there saying that Tesla, Elon Musk and Trump have patched up, but Trump has created a bigger distraction with California. So it's all a mess. That's what Trump does. He's an expert at doing these things. And there was a commentator who was asked the question, okay, you are saying to distract from the Musk and the tariff issue, he has created this LA distraction. And when LA becomes a big problem for him, what will he do? So he said, maybe you'll attack Greenland. So it's a continuous, mirrors game or shell game with Trump. The new shiny object will be put out in the open, and the press will chase that, and you'll have all the headlines, and you'll forget what happened just 2 days ago. Right? The Elon Musk Trump spat seems to be like, a long time ago. It's already gone out of people's memory. And that's the magic of Trump. That's what he knows how to do best. And that's what is giving us all these fluctuations in the market and the volatility. Oracle is up 0.25%, is being stopped by this resistance. We'll have to see whether 178.47 will continue to be the resistance for today, because I don't see any bearish divergences out here. The charts are very strong and potent. Only weak point I would say is that it's overbought. And in the past, when we have been overbought on the RSI scale, we have gone at least all the way up to 84, and we are right now at 75.99. So that's again another 9 points on the RSI scale. I think it's a potential for it to go up before it comes down. AMD is up 0.18% in pre-market trades, and there is a minor line of resistance at 125.28, which is going to act as a resistance for today. And AMD does have a bearish divergence. I can see that, but it's not that pronounced. But still, it is there. SMCI is up 0.46% in pre-market trades, and it's. I think I have what SMCZ waiting for it to come down. I also have SMCI on the Canadian side, so I'm exposed on both sides, and both of them are not working for me right now. It's kind of consolidating, so things are not looking that great in my portfolio. Broadcom is down 0.06%, and it has converted earlier supports into a resistance. There is a lot of hope for Broadcom, but custom silicon. But right now, I think our support is going to be at 236.94, and resistance is going to be at 247.90. Right now, we're at 244.05 in pre-market action, almost down 0.10% from where it was before. Bullish sentiment is still there. It's quite abundant, I would say, but MACD is bearish and momentum is dropping very fast. There is a news article here which says Broadcom stock experienced a decline of 1.1% in early trading on Monday, influenced by broader market movements within the semiconductor sector. So if we extrapolate that for today, it would mean that whatever happens to the semiconductor sector, that's what is going to influence Broadcom. Palantir is down 0.46% in pre-market trades. Still, it has got support at 131.06. Right now in pre-market, we are at 131.45, down 0.46% from where we ended previously. Bullish sentiment is almost waned. MACD is bearish. Momentum is still above average. So we are moving sideways. We are consolidating, still trying to make a decision on which way to go. Remember, Palantir has got Doge data, and Doge has got data from Social Security. So there is a lot of things to be had out there. Maybe more government contracts. SMH is up 0.60%. And we have this cup and handle target that I was looking at. At the same time, now I'm aware of a divergence that I see here, which I would categorize as a bearish divergence. So this has to click in sometimes, and that will invalidate our cup and handle target of 280.80. Now it depends on which pattern is going to work out for us. I would go with the breaking down pattern because we have a gap down out here, which is going to work in conjunction with the bearish divergence, whereas the bullishness is just the cup and handle pattern alone, along with the sentiments. Now let us come to Tempus AI for our friend Hot Dog. It's down 0.09%, but I would say it has held on very well. And I could also see a potential reverse head and shoulder pattern out here. I'll draw that for you. This is one, this is another, and this is another information. And what I would do is I would take a line from here and I would draw it this way, and I would say that this will be the potential neckline, or to be more conservative, I could put this as the neckline. And if this is the neckline, we want to see this part of the shoulder go all the way up here. The volumes are not too low. The volumes are not very low, but this seems like a potential viable reverse head and shoulders. So we'll be watching that to see what happens out there. And if that happens, then we're going to go back and maybe surpass $91. So again, personal opinion, not financial advice. FNGB is up 0.47. FNGD is down 0.39. If it goes to around 6.9 or something like that, I'm buying another 100 to dollar cost average and bring down the cost of my holdings, because sooner rather than later this has to bounce back. We have been stretched too much, in my opinion. Let's look at ASML. I bought some ASML on the Canadian side, which is doing very well, and it's got a gain of around 1.23% in pre-market sessions. It's up 1.23%. It's at 779.70, which takes it to the upper end of this wick. And resistance again is way far away at 888.28. Our bullish sentiment is still intact. MACD is bearish, but tending towards the signal line to cross over to the bullish side. Momentum is above average and picking up room on the RSI for further growth. So I think ASML will continue to do good for at least a few more days. And then we have Rigetti, which is still a loss-making position for me. I booked a lot of losses earlier, which I have covered and made profit over on top of it with other stocks. But I still have 100 Rigetti, which has got heavy losses. And it's dropped down below this diagonal line of support, which I thought was a bull channel earlier. And that makes me feel really bad about this. Sentiment is also down towards bearishness. MACD is also very bearish. Momentum is below average. I'm hoping that something positive happens for Rigetti. SMR is up 1.02% in pre-market trades. It's got competition. Another company in UK has started making smaller reactors. It's a well-known company. I just saw that in Reuters, if I'm not mistaken. Let us see if it is out here. So all of that becomes competition for SMR. They're doing a small reactor in Eastern Europe. So let us see where this news article is. Let's go back here and let's check out the headlines out here behind social media, crypto, from Britain, aerospace. Nothing out here. Rolls-Royce to build Britain's first small modular nuclear reactor. So Rolls-Royce is a very solid company. That's going to be a big competition for SMR. That's one way to look at it. The other way to look at it is that the market is very big, and the entry of Rolls-Royce is going to make this a acceptable size of nuclear reactor, and it could bring it into focus for many other companies. And with Rolls-Royce and its pricing, I think SMR would have the chance to win a few more orders. So that's the bullish way of looking at it. So that's the gameplay for SMR. AVAV is doing well on my portfolio. It was under very big losses earlier. And I'm happy to say that I think we have crossed the neckline. So I'm looking at a target of around 245.32. Pre-market, it's up 0.65%. Let us see how it goes. All systems are go. And in the past, when we have gone beyond the overbought status of 70% on the RSI out here, we've gone all the way up to 90.05. So we have plenty of room out here from that perspective. So I'm still bullish on that. What else do I have here that I need to talk about? Yeah, that's about it. Now let me go and have a look at the chat section and see what people are saying here. Trump diverting attention. Yes, hot dog. I think, yeah, I agree. Here we go. Tesla is doing fine. Raj, did you close your shorts? Yes, I did. I closed the shorts yesterday. I still booked profits on the shorts. And I'm watching Tesla again because I think Tesla is overvalued. I don't think it has got the chops in the robotics and the AI area. I don't think Grok belongs to Tesla. Grok belongs to Elon Musk. Let me check and see who owns Grok. Who owns Grok AI? Grok is owned by XAI. And let us say who owns XAI. It's primarily owned by Elon Musk, who founded. Public details about other ownership stakes are not known. So I think it's safe to say Tesla. In fact, Elon Musk diverted the GPUs from Tesla to Grok. I think these kind of things should not be done with proper corporate governance, but board is in his hands. And Tesla has lost an opportunity to do something in AI. So that's what I am thinking. What do you guys think? This is so stark, and still the valuation for Tesla is like it's an AI and robotics company. I don't see any AI and robotics, at least no proof like Waymo for robotaxi, and no proof like Boston Dynamics or something for robotics. So yeah, I don't know what's happening with that valuation story out there. Now let's go and have a quick look at genomics as well, since we are here. Let's open the list, go to genomics, look at Prime. It's flat in pre-market trades. It has got the resistance out here, this diagonal line of resistance at 1.83 for today. And pre-market it's flat as 1.67. Intelia is up 1.45% in pre-market trade, but still resistance is at 9.05. Caribou Biosciences is up 2.36% in pre-market trade, and it's at 1.30. So our resistance at 1.26 ends up becoming a support for it this morning, assuming it opens above that. MACD is bullish. Momentum is also pretty good. And sentiment is bullish for Caribou Biosciences. Do we have any news out here? No, it's just that they're going to participate in the Jefferies Global Healthcare Conference. Beam Therapeutics is up 1.10%. Support is at 17.44. Right now, pre-market, it's at 18.37. And resistance is going to be at 19.04. Altimmune is up 2.52%. Still no news about pemvidutide, and it's up 2.52 in pre-market trades, which puts it at 6.10 in the pricing right now, which is below 6.22, which is going to be our resistance for today. And support for today is going to be 5.30. Next, let's look at Verve Therapeutics, which is flat in pre-market trades. And it's going to get support from this minor line of support, which is going to be at 5.22. Editas is up 0.52% in pre-market trades. Still, it's going to get a resistance at 2.09. Presently, it's at 1.94. All systems look good out here. Momentum is, sentiment is bullish. Momentum is pretty good with room on the RSI to go. And MACD is also bullish. It's just that the numbers are very low. And Genomic investors have got so many opportunities to invest elsewhere that it's a very tall order to get them to take the risk and put the money in genomics. Illumina is up 0.49%, still riding gently this diagonal line of support. CRISPR Therapeutics is up 0.86% in pre-market trades. It's going to try and break through 43.01 today, which is the resistance. Right now it's at 42.45, and I'm thinking that it's going to convert the minor line of resistance into a minor line of support, and then we'll have to wait for one more day to see it close above that, so that we can confirm that we have converted this resistance into a support. I'm thinking that's going to happen because the sentiment is bullish and MACD is bullish. Momentum is also above average. Allogene is flat in pre-market trades, and I think the support is going to be at around 1.35. I'm going to mark this as a support. Presently, we are at 1.41 and the resistance is 1.79. Grail is down 0.07% after some frenzied activities. Support remains 37.85, resistance remains 45.70. And right now we are at 40 in pre-market trades. PSCB is up 0.83%, and that takes it to 121. And our resistance is also at 121. So I'll leave it as it is. Let us see what happens when the market opens. Sentiment has turned bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average. Chances are that we may close above 1.21. And if that happens, we'll have to watch for the next day to close above that to confirm it. RG is up 0.25%. Support continues to be 22.94. Vertex is down 0.03%. And the minor line of resistance at 449.33, along with the 9-day and the 21-day exponential moving average, is going to be a resistance. So I would say anywhere around 448 is going to be a resistance for this stock. Then Ginkgo Bioworks is up 1.15%. It has still not been able to break above our minor line of support at 8.29. Presently, it's at 7.93. Unicure is up 3.31% in pre-market trade. Support continues to be 19.79. And I'll put a resistance out here, which is going to be at around 18.50. IMPX is up 0.50% as of yesterday. No trades pre-market. So our support continues to be at 5.96. The stock closed at 6. We'll see what happens when the market opens. I'm a bit optimistic about this because we have this pattern that all of you are familiar about. And that pattern has been triggered. So I think we need to go up. And a potential target for this pattern is going to be somewhere up here. I'll put it here. And I'll say that it's going to be in the region of around 7.31. Now, I'm watching it. There are no trades pre-market, but that's a possibility. Precision is up 1.33% after going flat yesterday. It had a huge gain, and then it went flat. And it will potentially come down. It has got support with this diagonal line of support. Sentiment has turned bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is above average. So that's all I got there, my friends. And let's see what's happening in the cryptocurrency section because we have some time. Let me go into currencies. Yep, there we go. And looking at BTC USD. So we had drawn a cup and handle target of around 118.06, 118,606 quite a while ago. And that I think was somewhere on 3rd of May. And it's continuing. We still have the possibility to touch that. In the meantime, we came down here, tested the support at 101, 192, and proved that it was a valid support. So right now, our support happens to be at around 106,521. And the next resistance, I think, is going to be a minor line of resistance, which I see out here. Which is at 111,575. That's the resistance for today. I'm going to mark that in orange, which is our convention. So watch out for that. Sentiment is bearish, but it's turning bullish. And Bitcoin is linked with our stock market. So if the stock market goes up, you'll see Bitmarket also going up. There is another currency that I'm looking at. That is Ripple, XRP, USD. A lot of bank transfer cases are in play. So it's got another support out here. I would say draw a line out here. This could be a line of support. And I'm thinking, I have a conspiracy theory. I'm thinking that increasingly machine algorithms are trying to fake out and trap bulls and bears by just going a little bit beyond the support or resistance and then coming back. So I've seen that happen here, for example. It came down below this support, converted into a resistance, and then the next day it shot up. That's why validation is very important. We have to see validation. And I think the CTS will start evolving, the algorithms will start evolving, and they will give more days below the pivot point, and then they will move up after they have trapped sufficient people. I suspect that's next to happen. With AI, you can assume those things are likely to happen. It will be dexterous and nimble enough to do that. So that's about it, my friends. And let me see if there's anything in the chat section. Otherwise, I think we are done. And I'll close the session. So guys, do you have anything you want to talk about? Any trackers that you're following? Any trade ideas that you have you'd like to give me? please put it in the comment section, or else I'm ready to wind down this session, go have a quick breakfast, and get ready to make a few videos for today, especially one on defense. And I'm also looking at genomics, but I don't get anything new to talk about in genomics. Nothing new is happening out there. So if you have any thoughts, please put it in the comment section. Well, friends, that brings me to an end of today's session. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. Bye for now.